Hi guys, it's me Crystal with Love, Peace, Herbs, Tea and Garden. So, take this out, I'm sorry. I'm here, I'm gonna show you something. And it's a rant, so but it's also a lesson learned. So, I have a neighbor that felt the need to get my grass, not his, my grass, to spray it with fertilizer. It's like, it's that, I'm trying to remember what the bottle said. It said stay green or green whatever. It's like a fertilizer, but it kills the weeds. And I know I kept coming outside, and I had a couple of days I kind of was, I don't know what had been going on with me. I was like sleepy, and so my husband had been coming to water the garden in the evening time for me. And plus we really had no need to really water the garden because I am looking at all these lizards. I have lizards going everywhere. It's been raining. Lizards are all over my yard. I'm not going to try to get rid of them. I want them to stay. Let them stay, because they're going to... I hadn't had any problems with mosquitoes with them and the dragonflies. I'm good. And the frogs, I'm good. I'm looking at one over my head now. I mean, they are everywhere. But okay. Whatever. Just don't jump on me. But anyway, whatever. I started seeing the plants, my garden, to see if, well, like, I was like, oh, it's getting too much water, because it has been raining a lot. And I was telling my husband, I said, I gotta do something, because it's just too much water. So I'm trying to fertilize with Alaska 511 in between the rains, and was thinking, well, maybe, like, it's cloudy now, like thinking like maybe I can kind of get the plants to like kind of green up a little bit. But they start looking more yellow and brown and I was just like, what in the world? So y'all, I told my husband, I said, you do know you're not supposed to water the leaves on the stuff. You water the base. That's why I got the long nozzle, so you can stretch it out and get to the base without having to actually touch the plants. He said, yeah, I know. So why do you keep saying that to me? And I said, because my garden is burnt up. Like, the leaves are crispy. He said, Crystal, I just went out there this morning and watered. They wasn't crispy. I said, yeah, they've been getting crispy for a couple of days, and I noticed, but I was trying to clip away the crispy leaves. I said, but now I'm realizing it ain't no more vines left, and I'm cutting away the crispy. So he said, okay, let's go look. Because he was just like, he couldn't believe it. He said, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. Now, my husband suffers from keratoconus, but that's not a condition to where he can't see if he's killing the plants or not. Because he's a better gardener than I am. He just doesn't want to take the time to do it. So it's my baby, not his, but we still work on it together, if that makes sense. So I keep looking up because I'm surrounded by lizards, these geckos. So I was just like, something is going on. So I go back down the secret garden, and I'm looking at the roses. The roses kept, if you look at some of the videos, the roses, it's just branches. There's no leaves. And I'm like, what is going on? I just purchased a Eden climbing rose, and half the leaves are yellow. And I was like, what is... My rose closer to the neighbor side is yellow. And I'm dumbfounded. Like, what is going on? Well, today is Monday. Saturday, I realized the morning glories are dead. I wasn't in a rush. I wasn't in a rush to pick the morning glories out of the garden. I was gonna let them stay. They were wild morning glories. That's not. I didn't ever plant them. I was just gonna let them stay. Cause them growing up the poles, I thought was gonna be very pretty. I didn't. I wasn't gonna bother them. But they were burnt to a crisp. And I told my husband, I said, because this was Friday that I showed him the garden. So I told him Saturday, I said, something's not right. Something is actually not right. We're going to have to check this out. And he said, okay. He said, but it looks like somebody's burning up the garden. Somebody's spraying something and it's burning up the garden. That's what he said. Me with my big bright idea, I was more like, yeah, somebody burning up the garden, and I know exactly what it is. Didn't know nothing. But Sunday we came home for church and I didn't feel like cooking anything, so he went to, you know, we have Bush's Chicken over here, and if you ever come to Texas and want some chicken, Bush's is the best chicken ever. It's only a few locations, but Bush's is the best chicken ever. So he was leaving, and my neighbor had that True Lawn green spray or something that kills the weed. It makes the grass greener but kills the weeds. Yeah, I went to pick my squash because I knew I had some squash Saturday that I needed to pick. It had blistered up all over the squash, like it was something, some plague was going or something. And I was just like, it was about 6 or 7 squash, y'all, all destroyed. I may have got one zucchini that was okay. So I picked that one zucchini and I looked it over really good to make sure it didn't have any scarring on it that I think may have been from the chemicals. So yeah. My cushaw, I had a cushaw on there. It burnt it to a crisp. It burnt my cushaw to a crisp. And I had been picking up, I had been cutting things like my zucchini plants. They were really green. Now they're burnt up and yellow. My cushaw and some of my cucumbers are burnt up and yellow. I have a tomato plant. I did find a hornworm on it, but again, the leaves, I had been cutting, like cutting, and I said, I only got one tomato, and I can't get the tomatoes to do, but all of a sudden, the blooms for the tomato were dead. One day they were, you know, white and yellow, and the next day, they were just brown and crispy. And I was like, something ain't right. Y'all, he had been spraying this stuff for a while. And I didn't understand, why are you on my property, my fence line, spraying the stuff? He said because my yard was attached to his yard and he wanted it to look good. Stay out of my yard. Then he said, and y'all, the man brought me $50 talking about I'm so sorry. Eggs is about $50. Needless to say, I didn't take his money because I just need you to stop. Stop what you're doing. Don't do nothing else. Some of my beans have burnt up. And I was just like, I'm sick and tired of it. But he did apologize. I do accept his apology. But what I will say is, talk to your neighbors and figure out what they're doing to their yard. Just, you know, ask them, oh, I was just kind of wondering. And that will tell you where you need. That's another reason that will tell you where you need to plant. Because what they put in their yard can affect your garden, if that makes sense. And I stayed up against the fence because I was like, okay, that's still my property line. And even over that way, that's my property. I finally got squash and zucchini to grow. I have been trying to get squash and zucchini to grow for 6 years, and I could not get them to grow. I get to a location where they thrive. They love it. And somebody kills them. Y'all, I was so devastated. I was. Because you got to understand, I moved here. We closed February 28th. And I hurried up. We had March to move in. And then May, I started building my raised beds. Wait a minute, April, I started building my raised beds. But May, I didn't drop season till May. So I was rushing for the summer season. The spring season, to get me something in for the spring so that could go into the summer. And I could never understand. Oh, and another thing, I could never understand why my watermelon was not doing. I thought it was because of where it was located. He was spraying that stuff, and it was hindering it from growing. And I didn't understand why the leaves were so burnt and crispy. It's still not doing well because he kept spraying it. So I'm just probably going to do away with all those plants and just try again next year. Clean that bed out, add some more soil to both beds, and just I can't add soil to one part. I have to put a piece of wood in there to keep it separate because the soil is low, and then I got onions in there, so I don't want to. So I may have to put a piece of wood. Now I'm thinking about it, I may have to put a piece of wood there until I'm ready to bring that soil up. You know what I'm saying? Even it out. You get what I'm saying? But I think most of it, I'm just going to take it up and start over and get ready to start planting my collards. On my fall garden stuff. My collards, turnips, mustards, all the stuff that I plant for Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to go ahead and give me some cabbage in the ground. Y'all gonna stop scaring me. I'm sorry. As long as they stay away from me, we good. But anyway, that one been sitting over there for the longest. He ain't moving. He really watching me just like I'm watching him. I see you. Everybody's suspect. Anyway. But y'all, it just hurt my feelings a little bit. He tried to get me to come out yesterday, and so he could apologize to me, and I was like, nah, tell him it's okay. Y'all, I was really in my nightgown, and I wasn't trying to let no other man see me in my nightgown. I just stayed in my room, and I was just like, well, tell him it's okay. It is okay, but it's not okay. But I'm gonna take y'all to the garden to show y'all what it's looking like. Some of it is chopped up because I was trying to cut all the dead leaves off so it didn't, mess with nothing else. And I was like, and it's crazy because I thought maybe I was having those squash bovine issues. And I really thought that's what it was, that the squash bovine had gotten in or whatever. He was spraying chemicals, trying to keep my grass green when my grass is green. But my brother-in-law, since my husband hurt his leg, my brother-in-law's been coming to take care of the grass and stuff, and we have to keep it cut because, again, the house was vacant for like 8 years, and nobody was cutting the grass or nothing, and you couldn't barely see the house, like the bottom of the house, because the grass was so tall. It was so many fines here from the city about the grass, the trash, everything. So yeah, my feelings hurt. But let's go see the garden so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is what I've done so far here. I'm finna show y'all what I'm talking about when I say like I could never understand why my Vitex tree was just really struggling. Never could understand it. And you guys see, I had pulled up a lot of the watermelon and stuff. That's one right there. And those are a bunch of them, cantaloupes. Y'all, they ain't done no better. I took these up and put these in rehab because I never understood what was going on with my Peggy Martins. My Peggy Martin roses. I never understood what was going on with them, so I put them in rehab. They're supposed to be disease resistant, so they're doing better. They're growing back, but it's a lot of disease, and it's because of what he was spraying. I don't know how that trash bag got in here. Probably me. Ain't no telling. But again, look at all the disease on my Eden climbing roses. All the rust. So this one is finally starting to grow back since he stopped. But at first, that's like that leaf. And see how that branch is bare? That branch is bare over there. Down at the bottom is bare. It's starting to grow back a lot. And I couldn't understand why my summerific hibiscus, it's a dinner plate hibiscus, why it just all of a sudden stopped making hibiscus. This plant started rusting so much. And I started having to spray the rose treatment on it. And so is that one back there. It is just like, and I water every day. If you could, let me get closer. Like they were rusting. Like it was just, it's horrible. And I'm trying to get it back together and in order. Like I had this hibiscus. I had this, my phantom hibiscus over on that side, and I noticed it was trying to do some stuff. So some of it is dead and some of it is not. I have cut some few branches off, but I did see where somebody said kind of leave it, leave it and let it kind of grow off or whatever, and that way you could do it. But this is the most perkiest I've seen it since I put it in the ground from being over on the other side, and it's doing really good. Like everything else on this side is thriving pretty good. This one I had to cut away a bunch of leaves because it was looking rusted. If you go back to some of the videos, oh, I think I got a leaf on her that was like, it had this rust stuff right there on it. And I'm saying rust, but it's probably not even rust. I don't know what you call it. But anything that I put on this side of the gate, it got caught with the spray. So this did and that did. So now let's go over here and see the most damage that was done. Yeah, oh, and remember I told you guys, I said for some reason when I got over here, my fig tree just stopped growing. But when it just started showing signs that it was sick and everything. But I told you guys I cut off those dead branches and fertilized it a lot, and then it started growing. Like, I'm trying to get closer to it so you can see. Like, I'm getting new fruit. I have fruit on here. You see what I'm saying? It's starting to get a whole bunch of fruit. I moved it away from the fence line and it started doing better. That's the crazy part. I'm not gonna get close. I'm gonna have to bring the camera lens in closer. But you see my Japanese maple? The leaves are all crispy. And let's go back outside the fence. The leaves are all crispy on the green leaves. They're all crispy. And I never could understand why. Again, they were up against the fence. But I move them and you can see some red leaves are coming out. That's at the top. Red leaves are coming out. So I planted new. We sprayed again, y'all. Again, I told you guys he sprayed Saturday. So this is the new Peggy Martin rose I bought. Look, it's too close to the fence line. I had them on the fence line before I planted them. See what I'm saying? Everything I keep buying, he keeps killing. So I have purchased these grapes from Walmart. They were just $1. They were by dead, so I'm trying to get them to, they sitting in rainwater, so I'm trying to get them to grow. See if I can, you know, shock them back to life. I did put a little fertilizer in them, and as you can see, that one is kind of crusted over. Most of these are crusted over, but I'm shocked. They're trying to bounce back. They're trying to bounce back. I did plant, look at it. Get off. Anyway, that's a sunflower, and that was a sunflower that's dying now. So my onions I planted are trying to do something. Some of them have died back, because like down this way, they kind of, like this way they kind of dead. If they're up against that way, they're kind of living, so they were shielded. My peppers are looking horrible. My banana peppers are looking horrible, and I couldn't understand why my bell peppers, my red bell peppers, was just falling off. Get it now. So some of these are trying to grow. My mom told me to just leave them and see what happened, but I was gonna let them go. She did say this is a footprint, so it's got to be a cat in here somewhere. I've been in here somewhere. Yeah, but my Tabasco, them Tabascos live through anything, baby. Anything. Again, couldn't understand why my flowers on my eggplants were not really doing nothing. I have plenty of bees. I have plenty of bees, but I don't understand what's going on. And I pruned back all of these tomatoes. They killed them. But this is the damage of hornworm. And I'm really thinking about just like for instance, these right here, they're not doing anything. I've gotten a paintbrush, I've self-pollinated, I've done all of that. They just die before the process can even continue. Yeah, it's just like these, I can't. Yeah, like the morning glories and stuff, they're all dead. And this weed, I don't even know what kind of weed that is. They're dead. But this is what I was talking about. It killed most of my plants. And this is not from us watering and touching. It just, we woke up and it was dead. So I have one cucumber on here somewhere, and I don't even know if it's still okay. I knew I had a loofah, and it's looking bumpy and lumpy. I do see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, it's looking bumpy and lumpy. Yeah. So it may have gotten to it, but I can't even find the cucumber. Maybe it was down low. It got affected by it. Some of my beans, like right there, and this is being shielded by all of this, but it still got, I guess the wind blew and it traveled. So that's the main part. Like all of this is just destroyed. Like I had food on here and it's just gone. So I had to take a lot of it off just to get it. Even, y'all look. So when now it's squash borer damage, it is. But at first, like all of this here, like I have Yeah, that may be surviving. Like the patty pan. No, that's not even a patty pan. That's just something that didn't develop. So I have some zucchini that's trying. Some gray zucchini. It's not squash, gray zucchini. I said it right. That's trying. Some of my beans are just like, like these plants were so big and green, and it's just like, I have another market. I think it's called a Black Beauty squash, and then I have a lot. I have a lot more right there. It's a lizard right there. I have a lot more trying to grow right there, so I'm gonna try to let them stay and see what happens. But oh, let me show you guys. Like these leaves burnt up because of that. Look at all of that. That was morning glories. They're all dead. They're all dead. So I'm trying to get it back. I don't know. I've fertilized and fertilized and fertilized, so I may just end up yeah. I'm getting ate up out here. Yeah, but this is so far of what it looks like. He got me. My Gouda Cola looks great. I still ain't took it out of there to put it in a real pot. My St. John's wort is great, but everything else, my sedums that I haven't even planted yet look great. That's my little compost, I guess. I don't know. This is what was around the grapevines, and I'm trying to get the grapevines to come back. So now I realize the grapevines were up against the fence, and they caught, I think I said that already, and they caught, yeah, but I think I need to take these out because it's like a slime coating growing on here. I done had them in the water too long. Yeah, I need to wash them off with the, I don't think these are gonna bounce back. I'm sorry, I didn't even in frame, but I don't think these are gonna bounce back. I should have put a little growth hormone on. I don't know. I may still stick them in some dirt with fertilizer and let them grow back and see what happens. But guys, my little feelings are hurt. And I get he didn't know. I think he thought he was helping us out because, again, this house had been abandoned for 8 years. And it was when we moved in here, whew, when I say you had to wash them walls to get, whew, it's hot out here. Yes, Lord, we got a fan. Sorry guys. And this is the crazy part about it. He said he didn't know that we was even growing anything like in the yard. So by the time you guys see this video, it'll be like the end of July. Because I think I have like 2 or 3 videos ahead of this one. Because I still have the July tour, garden tour. And I still have, I think at this point, the video that came out was let's build some raised beds. Yeah. That came out that Saturday, so it's that following Monday that I'm doing this video. Yeah, I don't even know what to say or anything because I didn't, the few cucumbers that I got, they were like boiled, and I'm saying boiled over. It looked like they had got into some, I mean, like a chemical plant or something. They were bubbly looking, and I was just like, And when you touch them, they were like wet. Like the bubbles on it was like wet. So I don't think it's gonna do anything, if that makes sense. I didn't think it was gonna do anything. The one I got is over there is like kind of deformed, like, so I'm not expecting anything great out of it. And I see patches in my grass that should have been gone, because when I painted my picket fence, I painted it, but that paint has been cut out, but I keep seeing a patch of dead grass. And I was like, he had to go over the gate. But anyway, he kept saying he didn't know I was growing something. And I wish I'd have kept it in the video where I was making a raised bed. He was sitting up there looking in the peephole, and I said, y'all, that's my neighbor looking through the peephole. Look, look, look. And I took that, I edited that part out, and I should have just left it in there. And I think I have another video with that in there. I'm not for sure. I may not even have the camera on when I did it. But he knew I had something in the yard, because I kept saying, look, y'all, my neighbor's being nosy. My neighbor's being nosy. So he knew I had something in the yard. And then he was telling me when I get in the yard and when I go in the house. So you watching me. So you knew I had something in this yard. But you turned around and you sprayed that stuff in my yard. Not yours, mine. You're on my fence line. Your fence line is on the other side of the house. Not my... Y'all, this is the hard part about being a first lady. Because I really want to say something. But I let my husband handle it. I let my husband handle it. He done already called me ghetto. But... and I was trying to figure out where they come from, because... you know... me, I may get stuck up sometime until they finally talk to me and have a conversation with me. But ghetto, okay. And my husband is really quiet. He's not a real talker, so I don't want to talk too much. Not him. Y'all, it just hurt my feelings that he did that. But my husband allowed him to come in the yard so he could see everything that had happened. And he was like, oh man, I didn't know. And he showed him where the grass down low in between the bed, you know, the one bed that has the cucumbers and all that in it. And he showed him the cushaw plant and how it boiled the cushaw. Y'all, I had a nice sized cushaw coming. And I hand fertilized. It was just one, but I hand fertilized it myself, and it was doing so well, so well. And he burnt my baby, but that's all right. I got many more gardens to go. This is not my last. It just hurt that he did it, y'all. I'm sorry for ranting. I'm finna get off this camera, but I just had to show you what was going on. I think I'm gonna get rid of the cushaw plants, because it's just it's too burnt up. Even the vine has burnt up some, so I'm just gonna do away with it. I'm debating on if I'm just gonna do away with the whole thing and just wait to start next spring and plant those, if that makes any sense, or close to summer and plant those. But I'm gonna have to start getting my garden together, and because now is the time that I want to plant my cabbage, my collards, my mustards, my turnips, my plant some more carrots, stuff that I use to eat in the fall and store in the fall and winter or whatever. I think I have a few. Oh, let me tell y'all what I did. I brought my starts out and I left them outside. I was trying to bring them out for an hour and then bring them right back in. And I got to baking some cookies and forgot, y'all. I forgot them. Them things is about as crispy as I don't know what. The deal did okay. Some of my zinnias did okay. Some of my black eye Susans, 90% of my black eye Susans died. 90% of the cabbage that I started is dead. So I'm just gonna start all over. That's what I'm finna go in here and do, and start all over with these seeds and get them started. And then, oh, I need to plant. I got some Swiss chard out there, but it's not doing well. But I got some in the Euro garden that's doing absolutely well. I'm trying to think. I got other stuff. Like, I don't know. My celery didn't come up. My moringa didn't come up, which is fine because it's really too late for me to really start the moringa, because by the time it can get established, it'll be cold again, and I don't want it to, or too cool, and I don't want to kill it before I can get it started, even with me bringing it in the house. We don't stop running the air until like almost, what, November? Yeah, like November or something like that, depending on if we get something cold in October. Normally we see, not normally, because that's not normal, but there have been times that we've seen cold, and I'm in Texas zone 8B, Mesquite, Texas, and normally we see a cold front come through for Halloween. And my birthday is normally a week before Thanksgiving, and we in regular clothes. We ain't in no sweats or nothing like that, or jackets or anything like that. So it cools off some, but it's still warm, if that makes sense. But for the most part, I'm not gonna start them until next spring, so I can fully concentrate on them and do, because I mean, I'm growing for success. I'm growing to stock my freezers. I'm growing to feed my family. I'm growing to feed my parents. I'm growing to feed my sister in her house. We're a small family. We're not a big family. You know, it's me, my husband, my 2 kids, my parents, my sister, her husband, and her 1.5 kids, because she has a stepson. So when he come home, he eats. He gon' as the kids say, he gon' eat. I learned that from, I be watching my kids. They be having me laughing. What is this? Just clap. Just clap. So, yeah. I'm just trying to get stuff together. Like, I didn't get a chance to grow potatoes. I want to grow potatoes. I want to grow sweet potatoes. I want to be able to grow, it's a lot of stuff I didn't grow. Like, I like to get my elephant garlic. I go to Sprouts and I buy the elephant garlic bug, and I'll plant that, and I'll probably buy like $20 worth. That is a lot of garlic. $20 worth. Once you know, separate it, that's a lot of garlic, and it's elephant garlic, so it's big. So yeah, I did. My husband bought some garlic and some onions from Walmart for $1. So that's some things that I need to actually put into the ground. I am going to build another bed and a half, and I say half because it's going to be the short bed. So and it's going to go in the back part, because let me show you, we did cut down the Orlanders. My brother-in-law and I cut down the Orlander that was like right there, and the one that was right there. So they're gone, but I still, oh wait, hold on, no, hey y'all. So I still need to smother the ground out so that it'll kill the roots. I'm gonna do that with some tarp and bricks, so that it can sweat out real good through this heat or whatever, and it won't grow back. I'm trying to do it without putting the stump killer. The stumps, well, yeah, the stumps is gone, but you know, the lingering roots, if that makes sense. At least on the outside of the fence, I can put the stump killer on it, but on the inside of the fence, I don't want to put that stump killer on there, because I'm putting a raised bed right there, and then eventually I'm turning that over, that ground over, like next spring I'm gonna turn that ground over and plant corn. So corn will be growing out of the ground. I don't know how it's gonna work with that AT&T line running right there. We're gonna see. Trial and error. And then the gas line is like right behind it. I'm not quite sure. I'm not digging low. I'm just turning it over, and I'm probably gonna add a little bit more soil and let it do what it's gonna do. I'll probably even put cardboard there to kind of smother out the grass, if that makes sense. And I'll probably do it like in January, February, or something like that, because it does get really cold here. Like in February, we normally have either maybe what is it, like 2 times that it'll snow, or 2 times that it'll sleet, if that makes sense. Freezing rain. So with that being said, I'm just gonna try again. I'm gonna try, because again, I need my garden to be more successful, because it's smaller than what I had at the other location, but I need it to be successful because I'm not rendering as much as I would if I was still had like the whole backyard like I did at the last house. So every bit counts for my little garden. Nothing is gonna be perfect. We're going to have hard times or whatever. I get it. So we're gonna make it happen. But I think with the watermelon, the cantaloupe, and the other melons, because the soil is lower in the raised bed, it was able to kind of do what it's gonna do. But I think I'm gonna go ahead, and I just made that decision. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out all of that there, and then start planting my not cucumbers, my cabbage and stuff there, because it takes longer for the cabbage to grow than it would like the greens. And then when I fix the other raised bed, then I can fill that up with soil and add in my turnips, mustards, collards, stuff like that, because again, it's gonna be a bed and a half. And then the tomatoes, I'm probably just gonna pull those up, and because I'm not gonna get anything out of them. I know towards the end it may be something coming, like August, because we can get tomatoes twice a year, if that makes sense. The early part of spring, and then the early part of fall. But summertime, it's not, them tomatoes ain't gonna do nothing. The plants gonna die back or whatever. My peppers will stay. My okra will stay, because the okra will grow until the cold kills them. Hold on for a second, guys. Alright, 30 minutes was up, almost up on my camera, so I had to go ahead. And I'm finna get out because this is long. But my okra will grow until the first sight of a frost. So I haven't harvested any okra. I do want okra because I want to be able to drink some okra water, if that makes sense. I will get my fresh okra and probably freeze it and make pickled okra, you know, cut them up and freeze them. And then but for the most part, those big long woody okras, I said I was gonna try to get a few of those to remake seeds or whatever, if that makes sense, like so I can get seeds out of them, and also chop them up to drink okra water. I used to see my granny drink okra water, and I never knew what that was for. And then I realized she was cleaning her digestive system. She, you know, back then they didn't wait to like clean. They didn't wait till they was constipated or whatever to take their little. And they wasn't doing medicine. They was doing natural stuff. And I guess that's why everybody in the country was so small. Or it's not even in the country. It's everybody back in those times were really small. You didn't see a lot of obese people. So yeah, I'm gonna let that continue to grow. I just harvested a bunch of stuff when I started realizing this stuff was going dead. So I didn't get it on camera, but I did harvest a lot. With me harvesting that, I did cut up everything and put it in the freezer. I didn't can anything, or anything like that. And I did go purchase some corn from the farmer's market out here in Mesquite, and she had some corn, and she was like, this is the last of her corn. You know, she gets some more, it'll be from somebody else's farm and she'll sell them. But these were the last of her harvest, and I bought all that she had left. It was 26 ears of corn. They were $1 a piece. I froze about 5 quart bags, so that was like 3 cups each. In each quart bag, I did I left about 10 on the corn of the cob. On the corn, I left the corn on the cob, but out of the 16 that I had, I left the corn. I kept the cob so I can make corn cob jelly, which I've never made before, but I want to try my hand in that. I was actually supposed to start it today, and I still may start it today because it's a water bath method. I did just make tea cakes, and I made not chicken sliders. I made like lunch meat sliders, like sandwiches, but they're sliders. I made that for lunch and dinner. I just been wanting a sandwich. Like, if you know me, you know my favorite food is a sandwich. I love Monte Cristo. I love club sandwiches. My favorite food is sandwiches. Period. Hands down. You can never mess up with me with a sandwich. So, yeah, and my husband's is spaghetti. So, I think my son is on the same page with me. Burgers, sandwiches. My daughter, anything vegetables. The girl eat onions raw. Like an apple. But anyway, I'm finna get off this camera because I've been talking and talking and talking. This was a rant video, y'all. It really was. And I'm finna get off this camera and I'm finna record another video for my decor channel. So yeah, it's gonna be a rant as well. So yeah. But if it's someone you are upset with, forgive them, because forgiveness is not for them, but it is for you. And life is too short. Be blessed, be safe, be prosperous, and love all that you can love, because life is just too short. And guys, if you want to know how to start a garden, get you a bucket, a pot, put you some dirt in, drop you some seeds, water it. The best advice you can get is trial and error. You can go and research other people. I do recommend that. But the best advice you can give yourself is trial and error. Just try it out and see if it happens. And I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you. Oh, but if you are oldie but goodie, welcome, and thank you for standing there with me, because without you, this channel would not be anything. I appreciate you fully. And if you are new to this channel, I appreciate you too, because every time that you look at this video, you might as well go on and hit the subscribe button and the like button and the notification bell to be notified of every time that I upload a video. And go ahead and share and leave a comment. I know I'm kind of slow in responding to comments, but I promise you, I'm getting right back with you. Not only am I a gardener, I'm also a hairstylist. I do other things. I have other stuff going. I'm an event planner. I have several other businesses. My husband has several other businesses. Not only that, I'm a first lady of a church. My husband is a pastor. He works all crazy hours. Sometimes he doesn't go in, but he'll do other stuff around or whatever. But we're doing it, okay? You make time for what you want to make time for. And I'm also a business owner of a herbalist company. So yes, I do a lot, and I appreciate you for taking the time out to see all that I am doing. And those, and again, those that stuck around through the break when I was doing my transition from one location to the next, I appreciate y'all so much for being there with me, because without y'all, oh man, y'all just don't know. I wouldn't even, yeah, I appreciate y'all. That's all I can say. I appreciate y'all. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Love each and every one of you. Bye.